In 2002, Eminem's mother settled a $10 million defamation lawsuit against her son for only $25,000. After considerable legal costs, Debbie received only $1,600. Though Betty has been outspoken about her daughter's lawsuit against her son, she too is capitalizing on his fame. She is writing a tell-all book about her daughter's relationship with the rap star. In 2003, Kim was arrested and charged with possession of over 25 grams of cocaine. Ordered to wear an electronic device, she skipped town only to be recaptured and jailed for testing positive for cocaine use. Marshall fought for joint custody of his daughter Haley and won. He continues to play a major part in her life.
People are on the ins and on the outs at times with him. You know, depending on who's feeling cranky that day, he's talking to part of the family, and he's not talking to other parts, and they seem to take turns. It's almost like a revolving door, but there always still seems to be a fairly strong connection to the family.
Eminem has been the target of other lawsuits from more unlikely sources. D'Angelo Bailey, the bully who beat Marshall into a coma and later became the inspiration for the song Brain Damage, filed a $1 million defamation lawsuit against Eminem in 2001. Bailey, a Roseville trash collector, claims that Eminem did permanent damage to his musical career and caused him anger and embarrassment. The suit was dismissed by Judge Deborah Savito. Her written opinion was issued in the form of a 36-line rap song.
Mr. Bailey complains that his rep is trash, so he's seeking compensation in the form of cash. Bailey think he's entitled to some monetary gain, cause Eminem used his name in vain. Eminem said Bailey used to throw him around, beat him up in the john, shove his face in the ground. Eminem contends that his rap is protected by the rights guaranteed by the First Amendment. Eminem maintains that his story is true, and that Bailey used to beat him black and blue. An alternative, he states that the story is phony, and a reasonable person would think it's baloney. The courts must always balance the rights of a defendant in one place in a false light. If the plaintiff presents no question of fact, to dismiss is the only acceptable act. If the language uses anything but pleasing, it must be highly objectionable to a person of reason. Even if objectionable and causing offense, self is the first line of defense. Yet when Bailey actually spoke to the press, what do you think he didn't address? Those false light charges that so disturb, prompted from Bailey, not a single word. So highly objectionable it could not be. Bailey was happy to hear his name on a CD. Bailey also admitted he was a bully in youth, which makes what Marshall said substantially the truth. This doctrine is a defense well known and renders Bailey case substantially blown. The lyrics and stories that no one can take as fact, they're an exaggeration of a childish act. Any reasonable person can see that the lyric could only be hyperbole. It is therefore this close ultimate position that Eminem is entitled to summary disposition.
One of the things about the people who knew Eminem when he was just Marshall Mathers is that there's a genuine affection for him. You know, neighbors, chefs, waitresses at Gilbert's Lodge or the other places he hung out, people at record stores, people who used to make rhymes and record their own rap and their own music and beats. There isn't this feeling that, why him? You know, I'm as good as he is. People seem to genuinely understand and recognize that this was a talent far beyond anything they had. When you look at Marshall Mathers, there's the little kid who's still there. There's the Slim Shady who got him to where he is today. But then there's Eminem who says, you know what, Slim Shady isn't real. You know, let's enjoy what he does. Let's use this to get my demons out, but also let's not take it too seriously, because if you do, you're going to go crazy.
Eminem is the writer/rapper. Marshall Mathers is the good father, but also the person that was picked on as a kid, that was bullied. Eminem and Marshall Mathers got together and created Slim Shady, who was the bully, the hip-hop bully, the hip-hop juggernaut.
To me, he's not Slim Shady. He's not Eminem. He's that little kid I know from the hood.
Marshall is a really good person. He's a good father. But I think the Slim Shady guy is like the evil person that you know, that wants to go out and like try all these different things and say I've been there and done that, and where the other one is trying to be super daddy and be sweet and you know, do all these things with the kids, and it's like almost sometimes you feel like you're dealing with a Jekyll and Hyde.
He's a very complicated boy.
Eminem has stayed true to the city and friends that nurtured him, forming D12 with Proof, Bizarre, DJ Craze, Mannix, and others from his early days.
One thing I like about M, you know, whenever you talk about hip-hop or you talk about film, you only hear New York and you hear L.A. And M still lives here. He keeps things here. He shoots videos here. And he had the 8 Mile DVD release party here, which was great.
Eminem did 2 concerts in North America this year, and both of them were in Detroit. If you want to come see me, you got to come to Detroit. Might be the only reason in your whole life you've ever said, I got to come to Detroit. But if you want to see Eminem, you got to come to my hometown. 2 shows, sold out. The mayor of Detroit welcomes him back as a conquering hero, even appears in a video that they showed during the performance. But when you come home and the people are welcoming you with open arms and hailing you, then that's it. You know, that's the gold standard. Detroit was here waiting for him, and I think anytime he comes back, he just has to say when, and people are going to come running.
The Slim Shady LP sold over 3 million copies. The follow-up, the Marshall Mathers LP, released in May 2000, became the fastest-selling rap album in history. It was also the first rap album ever nominated for the Album of the Year Grammy. In November 2002, Eminem starred in the box office smash 8 Mile. The title track, Lose Yourself, won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Eminem, a.k.a. Slim Shady, a.k.a. Marshall Bruce Mathers III, has no skeletons in his closet. Instead, he has turned his tormented past into the world's most lucrative public therapy session.
Out of the ordinary. He could do crazy stuff, man. I can recall one time, you know, a lot of things that he did wasn't funny right away. When you look back, this guy's crazy, man. I remember one time we were in San Francisco where he was performing, and this guy was heckling him on stage. And he stops in the middle of the show. So he starts heckling the guy back. And him and this guy's going back and forth. Next thing I know, he jumps off the stage to hit this guy, hit the wrong guy. So everybody in the whole front row just like mobs Eminem, and they're beating him down, man. They're beating him something serious, man. So I'm sitting there looking at this like, wow, they're gonna kill him. So I jump in, I get hit. Then after I get hit, I hit the guy that hit me. I forget about Eminem. The DJ jumps in, the street team jumps in, all these people backstage jump in, and we pull him out of the crowd, get him back on stage. Now the whole crowd's about 3,500 people. Everybody want to kill us. So I'm trying to get him back. I'm trying to get him back to the tour bus. So we're all running. We're getting everybody to run back to the tour bus, and the tour manager stops and says, "Hey, you got to finish the show. The show must go on." I'm like, man, they're gonna kill us. And, you know, they holler, you know, "F you, Slim, F you, Slim." So he comes back out, and he does Just Don't Give a, you know, and performs that, and the crowd just go nuts, man. But that next morning, man, everybody had black eyes, swollen jaws, busted noses, you know, and he lived for that, man. I got a call that next morning from my mom, was like, you know, "Don't you let the little white boy get you in trouble." I said, "Well, I'm gonna try to do what I can, man." I don't know how she found out, but she knew about it. You know, we just always did crazy stuff, man. So unpredictable, man. You know, I think that's probably one of the coolest things about him, man.
When Eminem was just Marshall Mathers, he could barely afford to shop at Kmart. And now he owns a house that was owned by the CEO of Kmart. When Eminem went out to L.A., he was basically someone who had beaten the local talent, who had gotten a little bit of a regional reputation. But the Rap Olympics was a chance for him to showcase in a major forum. And based on his performance out there, he, let me say that again. What did I say before about that? He did some good shit, and Dre dug it. I'm out. I'm outie. Okay.
He came over for Mother's Day. She was so happy with the bouquet of flowers he bought her for Mother's Day. It was the biggest, most beautiful. I said, Debbie, that must have cost $200. Oh my God, no, that must be $500. It must have cost $600. I mean, and she was taking care of it. It was getting all brutal. 2 weeks after Mother's Day, the arrangement's still sitting there. Oh, be careful of my flowers. Look how beautiful that is. And Haley made her a picture where she had painted, you know, Happy Mother's Day, Grandmother. And it had a big house on it with the sun shining, you know, a typical little girl. And it was a beautiful picture. It was real big, about like this. She still has it. She took it off the wall, though. And it was really neat.
How about this long neck? Do I need a jacket?
You really actually look like Audrey Hepburn.
I don't want to look like her.
No, in a good way. Audrey Hepburn with fleshed out with more womanly features. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was told I looked like Reba McEntire for years.
It is.
For years, I was her.
It's one of those things, man, you can't wait to see what he's going to do next. It's like watching a living